Disappointment in others. What's that all about? I've spent a lot of my life wasting time being disappointed in myself, in others, and I want to start breaking that down a little bit because it's something I've done a lot of my own inner work on lately. And so here are a few ideas about it. Number one, disappointment in others is a way of controlling people. Your mom says, "I'm so disappointed in you." That's a way of using guilt to manipulate you into, maybe something good, doing better on a test or whatever it is. It's not that somebody doesn't have a right to be disappointed, but I'm approaching it more from the standpoint of the person being disappointed. What is your energy? What are you doing? And is it effective? What does it really do? And in your own personal healing process, is it something maybe you should consider letting go of? So number one, it's about control. It's also a kind of narcissism, where you're not really caring about the other person's needs a lot of times. Now, their needs could be authentic or inauthentic, but it's not necessarily your business to figure that out. So, for example, somebody might shut themselves in. They might not want to go out. They might not want to do anything. But you want somebody to go to the party with, right? And so you're focusing on this person is shy, this person holds back, this person needs to work on their shyness issues and go out there to the party. That might be true. But what do they need right now in this moment? Besides not going to the party, what do they need from you? Are you even tuning in on that, or are you just focused on their lack of cooperation with your agenda? So there's a certain narcissism, there's a certain control, and a lot of this really comes down to the loneliness that you feel, that we all feel, especially when we're not really aligned with people that are aligned with us. So what I mean by that is that if you're a risk taker and you need to be climbing up cliffs and jumping out of planes and doing whatever risk-taking things you need to do, maybe it's starting a business, and your friends aren't risk takers. They're happy to get a 9-to-5 job and get a gold watch at the end, for retirement. You don't necessarily have any right to judge that or be disappointed in that. I mean, I understand if you do, because there's certain elements where I'm a risk taker, and I get it. I like shaking things up. I like changing things. But a lot of people don't. And it's not necessarily inauthentic to them. So there's a loneliness that happens when you're surrounding yourself with people that really aren't on the same program as you. And so from that loneliness, you could start expecting things from people. Really what you're doing is you're expecting them to solve your loneliness issue, and they're not here to do that. So there's loneliness, there's control, there's a kind of narcissistic, selfish tendency all around this. And then there's the larger level of social control, of all the expectations that are built into a culture and a society, to a family, I'm disappointed in you because you didn't get better grades. I'm disappointed in you because you didn't make the team. I'm disappointed in you because you didn't win the game, or didn't earn enough money, or didn't buy a cool enough car. Now, so how are we going to flip that around? Because I'm all about the transformation. I'm all about the healing. So, number one, change disappointment in others, and even in yourself, to curiosity about them. Be curious, right? One thing, if you study astrology, you start learning how everybody has different wants and needs and motivations and talents. And there isn't just one way. And I can really admit that I tend to see things from my perspective, right? And have been known to impose that on others. And that is inauthentic. And I'm glad I'm growing out of that finally, as I'm sure as hell old enough to get over my bullshit. So be curious about others. Be curious about what they want. Be curious if you are the risk taker. Be curious about the person who is very risk averse and who wants to minimize the variables in their life. Be curious about maybe how overwhelmed they are by life when you're sitting there being bored. And understand that everybody has a different way of going about things. They have different issues to deal with. And as you're curious about their whole different universe, consider it like they live in a whole different reality, because they do. And love is more like being curious about the other. And being disappointed or trying to force them into your mold is not love. Now, besides being curious, you need to get a little healthy selfishness and not look for anybody to go on the ride with you. One of the things that I regret the most is trying to get people to go on my ride, whatever that was at the moment, rather than just going by myself and doing my own thing. Because you get a lot farther that way. And whoever insists on coming along, they can put that effort forth. But no effort is required by you. So if you want to jump out of airplanes, don't wait until your friend agrees to come along with you. Just go do it. Let them find out 3 weeks later when it just happens to come up in conversation. What? You jumped out of an airplane? You went skydiving? Oh, you didn't tell me you were going skydiving. Think of it in terms of generating the interest, rather than imposing it. And so the whole thing of being disappointed in them for not going skydiving, that's not authentic. You go skydiving. You go join the skydiving team. Guess what? Everybody on the skydiving team is into skydiving. Hang out with them. Talk about skydiving. Maybe find that that's all you have in common with them, and then you really appreciate the other people in your life that you have all the other stuff in common with. But when it's time for skydiving, you go hang out with your skydiving people. And so think of the loneliness that you are trying to patch up. Now, it could be your family. It could be that you don't want your parents to be disappointed in you, your family. You don't want to be disappointed in them. So everybody's, kind of trying to force each other into certain molds, and they're using this thing of, I'm disappointed in you. I wanted this kind of relationship with you, but you don't want it. Well, let's accept that. So let's accept what other people are all about, even when you see that it's based on deep emotional conditioning, emotional avoidance. It's based on things that you can see right through. But don't worry, there's things other people see right through in you, where if they told you, you'd be like, why didn't you tell me sooner? So the idea is, if you can remove this idea of being disappointed in anybody for anything, eliminate it and change it with love and curiosity and healthy self-centeredness. Do your thing. Let that shine as a beacon that attracts the right people, and let it stink like a fart that sends the wrong people running. When you stand in your authenticity, that's what happens. And the first thing that might happen when you stand in your authenticity is that you get rejected, because you've been spending your life force denying your authenticity in order to hold other people closer to you and not have them reject you. So pursue your authenticity, and you will find that as you do that, you do get curious about the authenticity of others, and you realize nobody can fully join you on your path, and you quit being so damn needy about that. At least it's working for me. Please comment on this, and if you have any follow-up questions that you'd like me to answer, I'd love to. Just put them in the comments. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. I would really be appreciative of that. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. For more information, go to andysway.com, or you can email me at andysway@yahoo.com. Thanks.